This debit card from Wirex offers up to 8% back on your spending in crypto, but there's a catch. As usual, I jumped right into this card without reading the fine print and learned the hard way whether this card is actually worth it. The good news is that means I took all of the risk for you and can now break down exactly what you need to know about the Wirex card to determine if this card makes sense for you. And don't get me wrong, for some people this card can be an incredible deal. But as we take a closer look at the Wirex Cryptoback rewards, you'll see that this 8% back isn't as open-ended as we'd probably like it to be. While you do technically get 8% back on your spending, the actual rewards you get in your pocket end up being quite a bit less, and you have to jump through a few hoops to get them. This includes the fact that all rewards and subscriptions are credited in the app's X points, which takes away a little bit of flexibility from us as the users. I also had a few poor experiences with the card that you may want to consider before pulling the trigger on it yourself. But in all, there is a sweet spot where the Wirex card is definitely worth it, and I'll show you exactly where that is. Stay tuned. For those who are new to the Wirex card, it's a prepaid debit card that pays you a fixed percentage back on your spending. This means in order to use it, you'll have to transfer funds from your bank account to your Wirex account. Alternatively, you can transfer crypto assets to your accounts and then spend those, which I am personally not a fan of because I'd rather just hold those assets long term. In any case, getting the card takes only a few clicks after setting up your account. The standard card level is free, but it only gets you 2% back on in-store purchases. The premium tier is $10 per month, which gets you 4% back on both in-store and online purchases. And finally, the elite tier is $30 per month, which gets you 8% back on both in-store and online purchases. So right off the bat, you'll see that you're paying for those 8% back benefits. As I discussed in my previous video, that means that you'd need to spend about $375 per month just to make back the cost of this card membership. It should also be noted that each plan comes with a 12-month contract, but you can get a 15% discount if you pay for those 12 months upfront in full. While it's a pretty significant price to pay to earn on your spending, my thinking was that I would more than make up for these costs by putting all of my spending on this card. I knew between rent, utilities, groceries, and more, I would be spending about $1,800 per month. Although I would encounter a few more fees along the way by paying for a few of these things by card, I expected to net a little over $100 per month in Cryptoback rewards. And if that were the case, this card would be totally worth it. But as it turns out, there's some fine print in the terms and conditions that I didn't notice earlier. Each membership tier has a cap on the amount of Cryptoback you can earn in a given month. The Elite membership limits you at 8,000 X points back, which is equivalent to $80. There's also a maximum limit you can earn on a given transaction, set at 2,000 X points, or the equivalent of $20, which sucks if you're planning to use this on big purchases, like rent, like I was. So now, you have to pay $30 per month for that 8% back perk. But you can't earn any more than $80 in rewards in a single month, which would be $1,000 worth of spending. This means if you maximize your rewards in any given month, you're only walking away with $50 worth of net earnings. And again, you have to spend $1,000 to get those earnings, which means you're getting, at best, the equivalent of 5% back on your spending. For comparison, the premium tier caps you at 3,000 X points per month, or $30 in rewards, and costs $10 per month. At 4% back, that means you'd have to spend $750 to maximize your earnings, which ends up coming out to 2.67% back, at best, on your spending. In both cases, if you spend any more than that top limit on your card in a single month, you get no additional Cryptoback rewards, which is essentially wasting the card and will end up lowering your overall rewards percentage. Ultimately, this means that the earning potential on this card is quite limited, and the window for significant spending rewards is very small. And all of this is further complicated by the use of X points. X points are used to pay your monthly subscription fees, and it's also how your Cryptoback rewards are paid to you. X points are spendable/redeemable for 1 cent each. Until you start spending on your card, you can get X points by purchasing them directly with your card or bank account. And this is how you'll pay for your first month of subscription fees for the card. After you start spending with your card, you'll earn X points back immediately after every purchase. So for example, a $10 purchase would instantly deliver 80 X points into your account, which have a value of 80 cents. One of the nice things about the X points is that after accumulating them, you can use those earnings every month to pay for subsequent monthly subscription costs. Another great part about the X points is that you can redeem them for any supported asset on Wirex. This includes US dollars, stablecoins, or any of the 30+ cryptocurrencies that are tradable on the platform. The downside, though, is that you have to have a minimum of 3,000 X points to redeem them. At 1 cent each, that's a minimum value of $30 before you can redeem your points. So unless you're in the elite tier with 8% back, it could take you quite a while to accumulate enough points to actually redeem for Cryptoback rewards. This is important to note because you can't really dollar cost average with your points the moment you earn them. Instead, you'll have to save them up and exchange them in $30 increments. I also have a few things I noticed while using the card that I think are worth mentioning. Most notably, the app places huge pending charges on your card whenever you spend. I understand the reason for this, and I don't have a problem with the practice, but I did have a big problem with how they were shown in the app, specifically because they weren't shown at all. For example, I started out with loading $100 onto my card. My first purchase was at a restaurant where I spent $64.45. This was also before tip, which we'll come back to later. But for this purchase, I received 516 X points instantly, and I thought everything was working fine. After dinner, I stopped by Trader Joe's, where I spent $13.19. I got my instant 8% back in X points there too, but when I checked my app, it reflected a balance of $9.46. So I spent a total of $77.64, but the app deducted over $90 from my balance. At this point, I sent a couple of support emails and started digging through all of their terms and conditions, because I worried that they were secretly charging me for transactions, even though I was just spending US dollars. Ultimately, as it turns out, they just don't tell you when a charge is pending. The charges look completed on your card activity, which makes it pretty alarming to see a balance that is significantly less than what you actually spent. However, I was surprised to see that they did this even for ordinary purchases like groceries, where the charge amount is confirmed at the point of sale. In all of these cases, my balance was later restored to the correct amount, but this was a big concern after my first couple purchases. And because of this, you need to keep a sizable buffer on your balance whenever you're spending. I had a balance of $10 on my card and tried to spend $6 and my card got declined, presumably because I didn't have a large enough balance to support the required buffer for a pending purchase. And finally, back to my restaurant purchase, I tipped $11.55 to bump up my $64.45 bill up to $76 even. I got my 8% back on the $64 charge, but when the tip finally went through, I never got any Cryptoback X points on the tip amount. And this is kind of frustrating because it discourages you to use the card for restaurants where the tip is going to be 15 to 20% of your final spending amount. So while the card has mostly worked how it's supposed to, I haven't been blown away with my user experience. And that makes me worry that I'm not going to consistently earn the rewards I should be earning on all of my spending. Whether the Wirex card is worth it for you depends on how dedicated you want to be to managing it. After all of the costs, there is still the opportunity to earn $50 per month in Cryptoback rewards at the elite tier. From my perspective though, you have to spend as close to $1,000 per month as possible to maximize those rewards. Any more or less spending and your actual percentage back rewards can drop substantially. For me, it's a big headache to track every single dollar I'm spending with this card and move things around to make sure I get as close to that $1,000 mark as I can. Especially because I have other cards that give me a guaranteed 5% back without any fees. In my case, I'd rather take the guaranteed 5% back in cash than hope everything works out perfectly for the Wirex card. I was also hoping to use the card for things like tax payments, which are explicitly excluded from Cryptoback rewards, and rent, which will be capped at a maximum of 2,000 Cryptoback points per transaction, both reducing the utility of this card for me by a lot. But this could still be worth it for the right person. If you're looking for a flexible rewards card that works for almost all categories, you don't want to use credit cards, and you're going to spend around $1,000 per month consistently, the Wirex card can be an awesome way to accumulate crypto every single month. On the other hand, for casual spenders or big ticket items, this card just has too many conditions and limits to be ideal. They came pretty close to my previous video, but now it looks like that Coinbase currently wins as the best crypto rewards debit card with up to 4% back in crypto and no fees as long as you're spending US dollars or stablecoins. Personally, I canceled my Elite Wirex membership and will not be using the card at all moving forward. However, I will still use the app for instant and fee-free debit card crypto purchases, which they've done pretty well. I'll leave a referral link below whether you want to try out the card or their competitive crypto trading. For other crypto debit cards or my current credit card portfolio, be sure to check out these videos here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.